Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Brian. Happy birthday to you.
Of 20, going on 24 years, my son, Brian James Devellis.
He is my second born, my one and only son.
They didn't name him, for a while because he was had to be kept under the radar. He didn't have a name. And the people were saying, what's the name of this child? And so we didn't tell. We just said, well, precious man, precious man.
Here he is back in his younger years, getting in a little trouble and trying to escape.
He used to twist his tongue. Oh, no, he used to do that.
Brian was actually easier to take out than he was to be home because, Brian's pretty social and he liked to be out and seeing people and talking and interacting. At home, I couldn't turn my back on him.
He could break his neck.
He wasn't 4 years old?
He was 3.5.
3.5. 3 and 7 months. Anyway, he's on the carousel and he's looking up and the thing is going up and down and he's going like this and he said, I wonder how this functions.
When Brian learned to walk, as I said before, he was on a suicide mission for an entire month. He also fell down the stairs multiple times.
When I think about Brian, I just think about someone who's not all there. Perhaps he was dropped one too many times on his head.
Brian leads with his head in everything he does. He has a pretty tough noggin.
He used to fall a lot. He was very special.
He was very tall.
But it wasn't his fault because his head was so big.
Yeah, we had a lot of head injuries.
Yeah, we had a lot of head injuries.
I'm not sure how many concussions he's had, but he's definitely had his fair amount.
It was always rather mysterious how these marks would appear on his face. We don't know where they came from. He would go to bed at night perfect, and in the morning there would be scratches, but we don't know how they appeared.
He was trying to get out of the crib, I think. I remember that.
My dad used to call him Boo Boo because of all of his cuts and bruises that were all over his face just pretty much all the time. And I remember when he was probably maybe like 3, he smacked his head real bad on a table and it was like all puffy, it was all blown up, it was honestly super gross. And after that, he just kind of started acting a little different. And especially for me personally, in a lot of our photos that we would take together, even photos like now in adulthood, I look at them and something just looks like a little bit off. And I don't know what it is, where it's just like his eyes are just like a little squinty, like something is just like a little off there.
We had to restrain him. Maybe he went to preschool and became a ladies' man. He only played with the girls.
He liked to push, hit, and punch, and he didn't like to share.
He did have a tendency of hanging out with girls, pretty much his age, cousins, friends, nieces of mine. And at some point he would just, I wouldn't say turn on them, but he'd start hitting them and chasing them.
Yeah, there were a lot of good fights in the backyard between him and Bailey.
Poor Bailey. Bailey got the brunt of Brian's, I don't call it anger or aggression or idiosyncrasies. But every time we went to a family party, we would say, Brian, leave Bailey alone. Brian, leave Bailey alone.
There's a punch.
I mean, those were younger years. And then it's funny, when he got into college, he came pretty close to got pretty close with his cousin Kristen, They went to the same college at U Lowell. And then it just started happening again. He'd go up to Maine with her, and he would just turn. I think you got to ask Kristen. I can't say much more about that.
No comment. He definitely surprised me. I wouldn't have pictured him to turn into the athlete that he became based on his coordination when he was little and all his injuries. Brian didn't have any self-defense mechanisms, I guess. Zip-lining into the tree and not knowing to let go of it.
Usually you put your feet up. He just went right into the tree and got just like tree bark on his face. And I remember looking at my wife, Nicole, saying, something's wrong with this kid. And then we took the zip line down just because he couldn't handle it and he was getting hurt all the time. And then 20 years later, that's the exact same place that he starts doing campfires.
He likes to start like fires.
He likes to he does love a good bonfire.
I'm constantly telling him to keep it a little bit lower.
Everything I've learned about fire has come from Brian.
Random nights we would see huge fires in the backyard, like massive fires. And we would just walk over and it would just be him outside by himself being like, you want to join?
I mean, if I do think about the things that Brian likes to do, they do revolve around fires.
They were unusually large, and we don't know exactly what he put in it all the time. It started out with firewood.
Leftover granola bar, boom, fire.
He's kind of a pyromaniac. Sometimes when we have fires, they love doing that at Phillip Street. We're all just sitting around the camp, like the campfire, and the smoke, it comes at people and everyone's trying to dodge it. Not Brian. Brian likes to sit right in front, smoke in his face.
He always has a lighter around, and I swear to God, he's tried to set my hair on fire multiple times.
Brian could set a wildfire and no one would find out it was him. Yeah. He'd just disappear in the woods.
When it comes to being an arsonist, I think, I've been concerned many times watching Brian outside with Bailey and the friends. When he's lighting fires out there, I get really nervous that he's going to burn my bar down.
And I just don't know if that's how you should handle something without a permit.
Neighborhood fires and fires in the woods, if they're looking for somebody, I wouldn't be surprised. Obviously, I wouldn't bring it forward. But it's a concern. It is a concern.
First person I would think of if there was an arson-related event in the area would be Brian Devellis.
I think the problem with Brian is that a lot of the trouble he got into I didn't know about until after high school was over.
I know Brian from when we were kids. He lived down the street from me, and we were in Boy Cub Scouts together.
My affiliation to Brian Devellis would be arch nemesis, I'd say.
When we went to parent-teacher conferences, and his teacher thought Jim's name was Ralph, the same as the teacher's.
And the Patriots Place had just opened up, and one student got to go to the hall as a field trip, one student only, and it was me. Brian was so mad. He was like, name one Patriots player, you can't. And I was like, Tom Brady. And he was like, name two Patriots players. And I was like, I can't. And I think that he's still mad about it.
I went through a phase in high school where I would always sneak out, and Brian was the first person I'd call.
Who would be awake at 3 to 4 a.m. on a Saturday that would just answer their phone and come outside? So we called Brian, obviously. He picks up first ring. he's like, hey, what's up? We're like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, nothing, I was just up.
We were on the boat in Maine with his dad, and we pull up to Boone Island, surrounded by seals, and his dad was like, you should jump in. And we look around, and Brian was already in the water.
He says, let's go swimming in the mini golf course. And I say, Brian, that is disgusting. And then the next thing I know, Brian is swimming in the mini golf course in Maine.
Another weird thing about Brian is, even though he has his own food on his plate that he could eat, he likes to eat other people's food from their hands or from their plate.
Actually, he got detention for the food fight. He swore he didn't throw food.
Brian would just show up and he would just eat all the pancakes. And just keep eating.
And then leave as soon as he was done.
And then he would just leave, and I never knew when I would see him again.
It was like he was eating his last meal.
Yeah.
It was alarming.
This motherfucker waited in my woods in the pouring rain for 3.5 hours waiting for me to come home, which I never did because I knew he was there. And then waited for him to come to lacrosse practice, to which he looked at me with absolutely ominous killer's look in his eye, and I knew it was over. He killed me.
Brian creeping in the windows is very invasive, especially in the middle of the night or when you're like down here by yourself and you all of a sudden see a face in the dark. It's terrifying.
Really violating.
Brian called me and he was like, hey, can you come over? I need some help with. And I was like, all right, sure. So I went over and we go next door to his cousin's house, and literally his entire family's there, probably 40 people. And he's like, all right, I need you to dress up as Santa. So his uncle dressed me up as Santa in their garage. It was extremely uncomfortable again. And then I had to get a bag of presents and walk in through the front door and then have every member of his family sit on my lap.
Usually when you're doing something with Brian, it is fun and spontaneous, but like you could get in a lot of trouble or potentially hurt.
He could rope one of his cousins in to being like the getaway driver.
We would take drives down to South Carolina and we would switch off driving. And I would always take the first shift of drive until I was really tired, and we would switch. And then I would nap while he was driving. But what if he just abducted me and just went off the road while I was sleeping?
Me and Brian used to just like drive and just get lost. Like intentionally just like take a bunch of random turns and then try to like navigate our way back. I don't know how, but we would always find our way back. Like we would just be driving in the middle of nowhere, then all of a sudden you'd see a sign that was like, you're now entering Foxborough.
Ryan and I carpooled to school together every day, and he would always drive. And there was this weird thing about him where he wouldn't drive with his hands but his knees the whole way to school, so he's like supernatural.
He let me believe he had his learner's permit, and I let him drive Big Blue all around, and then he drove out on the street from the parking lot and up and down that street by the Ahern School. I never would have allowed that if he had told me that he didn't even have his learner's permit.
Brian won over our trust because he has this very charming, friendly way about him.
He is very charming though.
I've been with Brian for 4 years now. I think I trust him. He's just so charming. So I stay.
I just hold out hope that my kids are smart enough to see through.
Brian is a dirty, dirty thief.
His intentions are good, but he gets lost along the way.
And he also ended up being a pretty good student, which was a little surprising to us. The year he got the perfect MCAS scores was the same year he was putting away the Tupperware and couldn't figure out why the round top didn't fit on the square bottom.
We're getting dinner, and he says, Dad, can I get a beer? And I said, you're only 18, 19 at the time maybe. And he pulls out an ID to show the waitress. I never talked to him about this again, but I looked at the picture, and I looked at the name, and it was vaguely familiar, but it just didn't seem right.
Somehow this paper, it appeared. How did we find it? And we realized he was a liar. He was a liar.
It wasn't out of the norm, but Brian, the name changes, and it wasn't his first fake ID. You really wondered who he really was sometimes.
We think that it was a way of him trying to create an alternate identity for later when he gets caught for doing something.
The thing with the ID was, even when he's caught, he always had an excuse, even in front of Nana, and it was believable.
Did you ever have a fake ID in your childhood, Dad?
Yeah.
You see, I really wanted to leave UML to chase my career in music, but they had a really strong recording program. And then I met Brian. And then I knew it wasn't gonna work. I had to leave. There's no way.
I met Brian in college, and I was a carefree person. I didn't have many stressors. I now walk around with a pit in my stomach all day. I find it hard to wake up. I had to take a night shift at the hospital because I can't sleep. I don't know when to sleep. I'd taken up drinking to an insane level.
We were friends like when we were 13, and then like 10 years went by. I got this cute puppy, and then like he started hanging out with me again. And like if the dog goes missing, like I know what's up.
I'm sorry, do you have any more wine? I'm kind of running.
Yeah,
oh,
sure.
Here, thank you.
I first realized Brian was a monster when he pushed me off the Westford Quarries. Caused me to dislocate my shoulder, and I've still been scared and nervous to be around him ever since.
I think I first found out that Brian was a monster when I had his toe in my mouth. It didn't feel human.
One time he threw an orange at me so hard it left a welt within seconds.
I never thought I had a problem. And then I met Brian, and now I can't put the bottle down.
I don't really have much to say other than like he f***ing sucks at basketball. These pictures, real life pictures, unedited, undoctored, yeah, that's the word. We'll tell our story together.
I definitely got a suspicious vibe from him. Doesn't really seem like a type of guy you can trust.
He hid apples in my dorm, and one of the apples he like put under my rug. And so like I walk into my room like not knowing that anything's going on, step right on the apple, and I fall and I almost like break my neck. Like I'm traumatized.
I wouldn't have practiced my bases hard to transfer to another school if it wasn't for the fear of Brian Devellis living 3 floors above me. A conniving you know?
He's a conniving
He's mean, he's an he's a and a at the same time. Like how is that even possible? And he's like just a like hole.
persistent, but that could be taken positively, which it's not. Egomaniac, narcissist.
Brian only wore a white t-shirt to a Halloween party. Super lame, not a costume.
Probably be a politician. Would probably cause all sorts of unknown, insurmountable amounts of pain on the public for his own personal gain.
So last year, or 2 years ago, he was doing an internship in Peru, so I decided to go out and visit him for a week or so. So we hiked all the trails in the mountains. Pretty lucky I got back alive. I mean, he just has no fear, no inhibitions about doing stupid things.
Brian going to Peru, no one knew when or if he was coming back. He just kind of left.
He was gone for a week, and then 2 weeks, and then 3 weeks. And, you know, he said he didn't have cell phone coverage, and we just stopped tracking him.
Many times we would try and get in touch with him and we couldn't. All of us would try and get in touch with him. You couldn't, and he never called, he didn't write.
There was some concern that he wasn't coming back. And why he wasn't coming back, nobody really wanted to talk about.
We knew someday this time would come where he could just disappear forever. He's done something awful, and I felt like if I could ever get in touch with him, I was going to tell him, it's okay to come home, Brian. You might have to pay for what you did. Don't be afraid, come home.
The fact that he wasn't home actually made me feel comfortable. You know, I knew everybody that was at my house that night was safe.
Oh, okay. My first encounter with Brian Devellis, it was the beginning of the year, 2015. And on our first session, he told me he was a pathological liar. Now, I tried to ask him what he meant by this, but he refused to go into details, only stating to me that, how did I know his real name was Brian if he was a pathological liar? I've been seeing Brian for 5 years now, off and on as a therapist. He, sometimes he loses contact, and I don't know where he is or what he's been doing, but he eventually always comes back, usually crying about a recent interaction with his peers that has him upset. I'm afraid he might be getting bullied. I guess he was telling people that he looked like Garoppolo, the NFL player, and that he took a 23andMe DNA test and found out that they were thrice removed cousins, and he was bullied pretty severely in the end of 2017 because of those comments. So over the years, his behavior has become increasingly worrying. At that point, I had to report to the authorities that this man was no longer safe for the local community, unfortunately.
And honestly, now that I think about it, I texted him today, but I haven't actually heard from him in a while.
I haven't seen him in 48 hours. I don't know when I should tell people. I don't want to seem like I'm careless, but at the same time, I don't want to be overbearing.
I texted him this morning, but now that I'm thinking about it, I haven't heard from him in a couple days, weeks.
Is it for the better, for the good? You know what? I think I should tell someone. I'd like to report a missing person, please.
Hi Brian, happy 24th to not only my cousin, but my very first best friend. I love you so much. I hope you feel super loved today, even though you just watched a full 30-minute documentary about why you're a really suspicious human being.
Happy birthday, Brian. Love you to pieces. Only you would we have enough content to make an entire criminal documentary about you.
Hey Brian, all kidding aside, happy birthday. Love you. Couldn't have asked for a better son.
Happy 24th birthday. I can't believe my Brian is turning 24.
Happy birthday to the golden
Happy birthday.
child. Everyone's favorite cousin, nephew. Love you, Brian.
Brian, this was really, really hard to do this fake
Shit talk.
weird shit talk about you because you're my favorite human being ever. Anyways, you just make me smile. Happy birthday. You deserve the best year. And don't take anything we said seriously.
Happy birthday, Bri. We love you, and you're the type of person we can count on to come pick us up anywhere at 4 a.m. and you're just a real ride or die friend.
Happy birthday, Bri. Love you so much. Thanks for always being there when I need you, especially when I get a flat tire and you need to change it, or if I ever want somebody to go on a hike or a walk with, or just pop over and say hi.
Happy birthday, Brian. Thank you for always being there for me and constantly taking me on adventures.
Happy birthday, Brian. We've been through a lot together. And I'm excited for the next 24 years. Hopefully that's it.
All joking aside, happy birthday, Brian. I love you, and can't wait to see what the next couple of years of your life bring.
You only got a couple of money.
Happy f***ing birthday, Brian.
Good job.
So, in conclusion, happy birthday, Brian, you little psychopath.
Happy birthday, Brian. Love you, and thank you for always being my dance partner.
Love you, Brian. Happy birthday.
Okay, happy birthday from me and Lena. Happy birthday, Brian. I hope you had a great birthday and have an awesome weekend, and I wish I could be there.
Brian, happy birthday, buddy. I am going to sing you a birthday song. And I'm very, very excited about this. I've been practicing, and I don't want you to feel uncomfortable in front of everyone as I'm singing to you. So But here we go. You ready? I'm just kidding. Anyway, happy birthday. I hope you had an awesome day. And the one thing I want you to remember, and this is very important, is don't ever, ever, ever stop coming over to our house late at night and standing in the dark by the kitchen window when Auntie Anne-Marie is doing something in the kitchen at the sink and scaring the absolute crap out of her. She loves that.
What do you want? I'm supposed to wish who a happy birthday? Brian? The f*** is that? Oh, Brian Devellis. Okay. Right there. Hey Brian, happy birthday. Wait, you're gonna cut this out, right?
Hi Brian, hope you have a great birthday and take a well-deserved break from all your PT studies. And here we go, 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday, Brian. And I'll talk to you about this later.
Hey Brian, happy birthday. Hope you have a great day and a great year. Enjoy it for sure, because your mid-20s are coming and the hangovers only get worse from here. So definitely live it up and hope to see you soon.
Hey Brian, we're here to wish you a happy birthday. We hear all the good things you're doing. We hope you have another great year and a happy birthday. So hope to see you in Maine or sometime down the Cape maybe. And again, happy birthday from Steve, Kim, our new baby, Cindy. Happy birthday. Make it the best.
Happy birthday, Brian. I hope you're having a great day. Sorry I can't be there to celebrate with you in person, but I hope you really enjoy yourself. You know, first birthday kind of post-quarantine, pretty much. Anyways, thanks for being just an amazing cousin. You're one of the most genuine, authentic, coolest people I know. You're an awesome guy, and you really deserve a great birthday. I can't wait to see you over the summer, and yeah, we'll talk soon. Love you, man.
Happy birthday, Brian. Hope you have a fantastic day.
Happy birthday. Hope you have a great day and hope to see you soon.
Enjoy it. Go for a nice hike or something.
All right, we love you. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey Brian, happy birthday. Good to see you again.
Hi
It's
Brian.
beautiful up here. The wind is blowing, the rain is coming, the high tide is way up.
And the fish are jumping. I said, you're such a handsome, nice kid, and the world should know what a great kid you are. Happy birthday, hon. Love you.
Happy
Love what
birthday,
you're
Brian.
doing. You're
Take
turning-
care. Have a good day. Enjoy it.
Yeah, thanks. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Hi, Mark Sullivan, entrepreneur, author, successful businessman, and employer. I've had a lot of employees in my day, but I never had one any stupider than Brian Devellis. Used to call him the Gronk because he looked like baby Gronk. And when I asked him to read something, he couldn't even understand normal English. So good luck to anybody who knows Brian Devellis. Just kidding, Brian. Happy birthday, you dumb.
Hey Brian, it's your favorite uncle, Uncle Paulie. I just want you to know you're the product of evolution. You have your father's intelligence and my bad attitude, which of course we love tremendously. Remember, the important things in life are your faith, your family, football, and females, in that order. I love you. Stay strong.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. This is your day and we'll have all the fun. Hey!
Happy birthday, Brian. I hope you're having a great day and that you're getting everything you want. I don't know, whatever you're supposed to say for people's birthdays.
Hey Brian, sorry we're not able to make it there today. We're there in spirit. When I sent him a text message on his birthday, I said, thank you for taking me on some of your adventures. And he responded, thank you, looking forward to many more. So am I, and happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Brian. Thanks for being a great influence and giving me my first Jaeger bomb when I was 15.
Happy 24th, Brian. I'd like to say that speaking for me, Mikey, and Anthony, that we've looked up to you over the years, and you've been a great man that we've been able to look up to. You've looked out for your family, and we appreciate you a lot. I'll give you a nice hug to go.
We're all coming to your celebration. We'll keep going until your day is done. Hey!
Hey Brian, happy birthday. A fun memory I have is when we were in South Carolina and you guys decided you were gonna catch seagulls on the beach. And yeah, I know you're probably going like the whole shark story, but no. This is about you and catching the seagulls with the blanket and the potato chips. And you were so determined to catch them. And it was funny to watch you guys try to catch seagulls. I don't know. Happy birthday. Look forward to seeing you soon.
Happy 24th birthday. Have a great one. Enjoy your day. We love you and miss you.
Blow out the candles on your cake and make a wish. Serve Brian's favorite dish. Da, 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 da.
Hi Brian, happy birthday. It's your old boss. I want to tell you that you were my favorite counselor of all times. I still have your artwork that you used to make for me. I throw my kids' stuff away, but I kept yours.
Hey Brian, B is for
Brainy.
R is for
Rudy.
I is for
Intelligent.
A is for
Oh, no. I mean agility.
Oh yeah, and it's knowledge. So very smart, you know, knowledge. Yeah, listen,
Yeah, he's not brainy or intelligent like you are. But we do want to wish you a happy birthday.
We have to sing to you a traditional Asian happy birthday.
This is how Asians sing
happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to Brian. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Brian. Have a good one.
Happy birthday, Brian. Happy birthday. This is your day, and we'll have lots of fun.
Hey, woohoo!